Hello everyone, and well done for completing the cleanse. Tonight we haven't been able to have people on the call. Everyone's been busy, so Katie joined us for a bit, but I just thought I would record just a quick little message for you all just to summarize how to safely ease out of the cleanse. So first of all, just give yourself a pat on the back for implementing some new habits and giving the cleanse a go, even if you found it challenging at times. I've loved hearing from all of you as you've gone through with photos, shares, and questions. I love all of that. So thank you for your participation and for inviting your friends. So, how did everyone go? This is a little check-in that you can do. I'd love to hear from you. Rating yourself out of 10, like how did you feel with your energy throughout the cleanse? Did it increase? Did it decrease? For me, I found that it was like quite low, and then about day 4 it like really picked up. So for everyone it's different, but I find after the first few days then we kind of get that hit of energy. That's really nice, and you drop into the cleanse. How do you find your rhythm? A lot of people found that eating the 3 meals a day was completely new to them, then realized how much they actually did snack, and so even just sticking to those three meals a day has been quite a challenge for some people, and they've noticed the benefits of how that is in their digestion. Having this simplicity and this increased level of energy, how did that affect your focus and attention throughout the week? I found the first week when I was pre-cleansing and getting rid of coffee, my focus and attention was actually dropped and then it improved after cleansing from that, and I feel like I had increased clarity and attention. Digestion and pooping, do you notice better with that, especially with the water in the morning, having the warm water to help you flush everything out in the morning? Emotional responses, did we notice that when we have an emotional response, what is our crux? Is it that coffee? Is it the chocolate? What do we lean into when we do have a stressful day, or we're feeling a bit emotional? That just, even if we still did go for those options, that's okay, but we maybe have learned a bit more about our responses, and we're a bit more conscious and aware of them. Hopefully you all feel reset and rejuvenated. That is the goal from the cleanse, hopefully. And even if you did a mini cleanse or lasted a few days, that's okay. It's still an improvement, and hopefully you've noticed some benefits. And how have you noticed the feedback from your body? By listening to your acne, listening to your digestion, listening to your senses, and what feels good. A few people mentioned that, oh, actually I realized how much I do actually enjoy warm food, and how my body actually does respond better to that. So yeah, little check-in for yourself. And these are the questions from the journaling prompts, which is in the Google Classroom. So if you liked journaling and you would like to do these reflections, they're there for you. You can just go through them at your own speed and, have a nice little tea, make a safe and nurturing space for yourself. But yes, important before we actually rush out off the cleanse is to look at why, what do we actually want to include back into our life before we rush out to, like, I don't know, eat all of our favorite foods again, or go back into our old habits. Like, are there some habits that we actually enjoyed and we want to keep and maintain? Are there some habits that or some foods that we're like, oh yeah, I love bread, I want to add that back in, or I do want my coffee, but it's been nice to have a break. I've noticed actually I loved my coffee, but I noticed the benefits of having no coffee after pushing through that initial detoxifying phase. So these are some nice post-cleanse reflection questions, and just more to think about how you want to ease out, what you want to add back in, what you don't want to add back in, and what positive benefits of the cleanse do you want to maintain. So this is a little recap of maybe some things that we've learnt over the cleanse. This is the Maha Gunas in Ayurveda, the 3 great energies. Everything that we absorb into our life through our senses takes that effect on in our mind. So this can be our environment, it can be the things that we watch and read, the people that we talk to, but also the foods that we consume. So everything that we consume, and they have three qualities. So tamasic is the heavy quality. That kind of clouds our judgment, makes us feel a bit sluggish, or is like the mode of ignorance, because it kind of like clouds what it's like looking through murky water. We can't see things clearly. When we are eating things that are heavy, greasy, overly processed, this is the effect that it has on our mind over time, over accumulation. Not that you can't have these things, but if we continue to eat these things over time, it's what our body's going to crave, and we'll be even ignorant to the fact that actually these things aren't good for us. Registic is the mode of agitation, really. If you think about water being choppy, it has that effect on the mind. It's okay to have a bit of agitation. It's healthy to have some stimulation in our life, but having too much of it means like we're too registic and stimulated. So these types of foods and mode of like other things that we consume in terms of maybe like the media, what we watch, what we read, activities that we do, this should be maybe 20% off the time in our regular Ayurvedic diet. So that's saying, you know, we can use our pungent vegetables, we can have coffee, we can have a bit of spice and a bit of sugar, but not all the time. As we have it all the time, that's when our body gets addicted to it and we build up that accumulation. Sattvic is the mode of goodness, and this is our whole foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, high quality dairy, that has the purity and calming effect on the mind. Activities for sattva would be, all of our mode of goodness, nature walks, journaling, yoga, exercise. It's all has that effect on the mind. So moving on, the main aim for the cleanse, and why I'm so passionate about cleansing, is it all comes back down to simplicity, really. So when we simplify our life, when we simplify our schedule, our foods, by like meal prepping or like taking out like the snacks as much, it's okay to snack occasionally, but it creates more space in our life when we feel like that we're so busy, we don't have time for things. Simplifying all of these things actually declutters our mind, our body, our soul, and it has the calming sattvic effect on our mind. Hopefully you've been able to reframe some of these things as focusing on what you're adding into your life rather than what you're depriving yourself from. And food summary. So in a nutshell, food that is good for us from an Ayurvedic perspective are foods that are obviously sattvic. They're simple. So this is simple in terms of they don't have many ingredients, so the body knows what to do with all of the ingredients. But also that makes it simple for us to make. Which creates more space in our time. We have more time for other things. Simple, warm. When it's warm, it's better for our acne rather than cold, and it's also partly pre-digested, which means our body absorbs more of the nutrients. And then the other thing with food is obviously our regulated meals, so 3 to 4 regular meals a day. Early dinner, so that it's fully digested before we go to bed. Self-care, a big part of Ayurveda is self-care. Hopefully this was one section I didn't get as much time, actually, this cleanse, with working full-time as a teacher, but self-massage, rubbing oil on the body or a dry massage, obviously baths, journaling, time in nature, contemplation. I've been really loving my yin and restorative yoga at the moment, and I find that that's really been helping me balance out the so much do going, the yang energy that I have during the week, working full-time and then actually dropping into the yin to counteract that has really been balancing for me, myself. So you don't have to do all of these things. This is not a checklist. You can find your own type of self-care which works for you, but making that time so that we can actually do more. And this is dinacharya, right? That dinacharya means following the rhythm of the day. So again, this is not a checklist, something to aim towards, maybe, by adding a few better habits, not to do them all at once. But ideally, we're rising, and you may be finding this easier in the southern hemisphere. I know I have. My body clock has definitely switched into being able to easily wake up without an alarm before 5:30. So the longer that we sleep in, the more sluggish that we feel. In the northern hemisphere, it's darker and the sun is rising later, so you have a bit more time. Then in summer, we can kind of wake up a bit earlier. But the longer that we sleep in, the more that kapha energy or the tamasic energy builds, and you might notice that the longer you sleep in, the harder it is to get going in the morning. So we actually do have more energy when we do wake up earlier. Daily self-care, cleansing in the morning. A lot of you sent me photos of your tongue scrapers and were impressed by how drinking the warm water in the morning was really helpful for elimination. If you're into meditation and spiritual nourishment, a good practice to do in the morning. Again, daily exercise. This is really good for your energy for the day and for the circulation in our body, the detoxification process. Ideally with our breakfast, something small to warm up the agni, not to overburden it, but also not skipping a meal either. So we want something to start up. Ideally not a coffee first thing. If you're going to have a coffee early in the morning, try and have that with a piece of toast, some porridge or some type of fruit. So that we're having it with something. Biggest meal around lunch. I know this is a bit tricky for some people, so if you can't do that, just like a meal in the middle of the day. And if you're having a bigger meal in your evening, just the early that you can have it, we're basically aiming for the meal to be fully digested before we actually go to sleep. It's just that big meal late at night, at 9 o'clock, and then trying to go to sleep. Not great for our body's ability to, our liver's ability to, detox in the middle of the night, making us wake up feeling sluggish. Evening wind down, this is a great time to come off screens and to do all the self-care, the reflection, replacing Netflix occasionally with maybe some yoga, some meditation, some journaling, or chatting with your loved one. And then early to bed so that the body can rest and repair. And we just support. This helps us regulating our rhythm of our day, gives us more space, gives us more time, increases our vitality, makes life easier because we're not we're living in a state of ease rather than dis-ease. It might be not easeful to begin with because they may be new habits. So if you want help with your habits, I can do that. Just message me. I have an 8-week program where we actually implement these habits over a longer period of time rather than all at once. But the cleanse is an idea just to give you a bit of a taste of Ayurveda, creating dinacharya, and eating some more sattvic whole foods. And then this is a habit tracker. Again, if you like that, that's in the cleanse booklet. If you're someone that likes checklists, and you can also add your own goals here. So Ayurveda, the science of life, or science of the knowledge of life, gives us this greater wisdom of our body and the environment. Built on the 5 elements, and those 5 elements are everywhere in nature and then also within our body, and our body is made up of a different proportion of all of these, which means why we're more susceptible to different diseases or different mindsets, and it just gives us a greater body literacy to understand ourselves a bit better. So the doshic types, if you're interested, again, there was the doshic quiz for everyone to do. Everyone loves a bit of a quiz. The kapha body type is made up more of earth and water, so they're just a bit more susceptible to kind of like the heaviness. So heavier foods are going to affect them a lot more, make them a lot more sluggish than, say, a vata or a pitta person. Pitta is fire and a little bit of water. They're more susceptible to the irritating foods, the fiery foods, or working too much and then getting frustrated and agitated. So Pitta really needs like the calming yin to do a bit less, which is hard for Pitta to do. Vata is air and ether. So the main imbalances to find in Vata is kind of like feeling anxious or up in the head, airy, scattered, all over the place. So really Vata needs like the opposite. They need the grounding. So less stimulation and more grounding, coming down the slower yogas, and grounding foods like sweet potato, grains, avocado, oily things will make Vata feel great. So safe guidelines for practice. Vata can practice cleansing for up to a week, Pitta a bit longer, and Kapha will actually benefit from doing this cleansing diet for longer actually. But the main thing is that you listen to your own body. Don't worry about the doshas too much. Just listen to when you're happy to come out of it. The cleanse, even if you lasted a few days and you're like, oh, I ate a sneaky pizza, kind of like me and Ollie this week. It was his birthday though. We jump into this like most weeks, like, from Monday to Wednesday, this is our general diet. And then Thursday, a bit more freedom. And then the weekend, we feel less guilty about having things. So it's just like gives us a really nice rhythm for our week. And then we obviously do a stricter cleanse when we do the cleanse time. But yeah, I just find cleansing was really helpful for us to implement some of these Ayurvedic habits and give it a taste for it, and slowly, don't worry if you didn't implement all the things. Each cleanse you can go deeper. I run these twice a year, and each time it's just a little reminder of like, actually I am having a snacking a bit. These are things that you have all said to me. I am snacking a bit more than I wanted, or actually I have increased my coffee intake, or actually I never even thought about eating 3 meals a day, or drinking warm water in the morning. So there's a few little things that tweaking can really help us. So I just went through the doshas and our main imbalance. So yeah, Vata focusing on warmth, grounding, consistency. Pitta on the cooling foods and activities, and Kapha more like warmth and stimulation. Yeah. Now, in summary, to summarize, the ideal Ayurvedic habits to continue in what is practical for you. So, enjoying our warm sattvic whole foods where possible. Obviously, we can snack, we can enjoy, our treats. That is okay. We can enjoy our coffees. It's just in moderation, and noticing like when is it a habit and an addiction? When is it clouding our judgment and our senses? And over time, like when we eat these sattvic foods, like actually what does our body crave? Yeah. So then obviously light moderate exercise, daily walking, daily yoga, and regulated meals, the 3 to 4 meals a day, and making time for self-care. As we do these, we refine our senses, and our senses crave these things. Me and Ollie, we still can't go off path. We don't eat a sattvic diet all the time, but when we do go off path and we have a bit more of a naughty weekend, that's okay. We don't feel guilty about it, but like our body tells us that, okay, we know how to drop back into our rhythm and our dinacharya, and over time, like falling off the wagon and then going back on is a lot easier to get back on track. So these is the summary in a nutshell of a few little things to focus on to keep going where possible, with obviously less strictness than we have over the last week. Once we refine our senses, this gives us a high level of intelligence in our body. We can listen to our body a lot better. If you think about putting a big pile of dirt, and you shovel dirt and put that onto the dirt, you don't really notice, you're putting more dirt on the pile. But if it's a clean slate and you add things back in, we can notice that, oh, that had that effect. So by kind of stripping everything away in this cleanse and then slowly adding it back in now over the next week, we can go like, oh, actually, that food does trigger me in this way, or oh, my Agni actually did respond well to this food, or yes, I do really want to add that in, or no, this actually irritated me or made me feel scattered. You have a great intelligence and feedback system from your body. And when we do that, it relates to like higher thoughts in our mind. And I guess that's the end goal of Ayurveda, is to accompany us in our spiritual fulfillment in life, to whatever our goal is it to be a good teacher, the best mom that we can be, a businesswoman, whatever it is. Like if we are going against the grain and paddling upstream, making life difficult for ourselves, and our body is just screaming out, is in a state of dis-ease, it's not feeling in flow, everything feels hard. When we have this intelligence in our body and refinement of the senses and regulated rhythm in our life, it helps to support whatever greater goal that we have in life, and life becomes easeful. We're in a state of ease, which is the end goal really of Ayurveda, to support whatever goal that we have in life. So next cleanse is next year. I'll be running them twice a year, but the next one is in March, and it'll be that week from the 20th to the 26th. So we'll be pre-cleansing the week before that. I will have a pre-cleanse call the week before that, and then, but this is the actual week of the cleanse. If you can save that, get prepared now to be like, I'm not going to schedule things, write it in your diary. The same Google Classroom will be open, and I'll just keep adding people. You're always welcome to invite your friends. And now I know a few people have maybe started the cleanse this week or started a bit later. Wherever you're at with this, even if you're doing a few days, just message me. I still love hearing from you, even though the cleanse is over, or if you're doing it self-paced. Just message me, send me photos of what you're doing. I love hearing from you and checking in from you. So thank you everyone for participating. I hope you found value from it, and I hope to see you on the next cleanse. Goodbye.